right? You have a lot of turnover, possibly. Kelsey may be finished.
Where I'm looking up average life expectancy. I'm dreaming at this point. Like, I can't. I'm done with the season.
What's the next evolution of Pat Mahomes? And it's weird to be talking about a guy like, what's the next evolution of Pat Mahomes, and he's not 30. You could be anywhere doing anything, but you're hanging out with us, and we appreciate that. So wherever you're listening and however you're listening, we appreciate you guys for listening. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of the Game Plan Podcast. Alex Goodwin is my name. You can follow me on Twitter at Alex Goodwin TSM. Again, that's on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Alex Goodwin TSM. That's T as in tacos, S as in sangria, M as in margaritas. Kennedy Miller, my guy.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
And doing all right, dog. Ken, where can the folks find you on Twitter, man?
You can follow me on Twitter at _Kennedy Miller _. Again, that's _Kennedy Miller _.
All right. And joining us, friend of the show. It's been way too long since he's actually been on this here program. It has been a while, but he started from the bottom. He used to work at like 10 different outlets, but now he's working for the Athletic. Tobias Bass, for my money, the best college basketball writer possibly in America. I'm just gonna speak that on to you, my brother. How you doing today, dog?
Well, man, I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. I'm gonna say over a year, but I think it might be 2 years, something like.
Yeah, it might be
pushing 2. If it's not 2,
Yeah.
it's close to 2 for sure.
Yeah, man, way too long. Tobias, for the folks that are new to the program and possibly new to you, where can they find you on Twitter, dog?
I'm on Twitter at Tobias _Bass. That's TOBIAS _Bass, like the fish.
All right. Don't forget, everybody, follow the Game Plan Podcast on our official YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe, tell 10 friends, and tell 10 more friends. But I said M as in margaritas. I should have said M as in moving truck or moving boxes, because I think that's what Ime Udoka is going to need, because, dog, the Rockets look bad. Like, Tobias, is it just me? I think this might be Ime Udoka's final games coaching the Houston Rockets, or am I tripping?
They do look bad. I think it's just structurally how they are. That's the problem. Like last night, there was a point in the game, late in the game. You got KD on the floor, Sagoon on the floor, Kogi, Jabari Smith, and whatever other Otari Easton's on the floor. So you got 3 4s, a 5, and a wing. There's no point guard. There's no shooting, no floor spacing. It's just, I think that's why KD was turning the ball over so much. He's not used to having to play make. He can do that, but that's not what he's used to. He's used to people giving him the ball and he isolates. So just structurally how they're designed, they're just a very, very flawed team, and the Lakers have been taking advantage of that.
Well, I think it's a chess match, and the Rockets are losing. Ime Udoka is getting outcoached. Tobias said it. I'm not understanding why KD is consistently bringing the ball up the middle of the floor and getting trapped, and they have not figured it out. And it's not even the fact that they haven't figured it out. They literally did this a month ago. And like, they did it a month ago on like a Monday and a Wednesday in Houston, like a home and home, and like they still haven't figured out how to beat it. And so like Kevin Durant has 9 turnovers and he comes out, obviously he doesn't play game 1. He comes out, he has like 20 points at halftime efficiently. Like, I think on like 7 shots. And I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, he's about to go for 40. And he shoots 5 shots in the second half, goes 1 for 5. 9 turnovers. Like, for me, it's so many different things going on with the Rockets, right? They're getting out coached. I don't really trust anybody to knock down a shot or effectively play make outside of Kevin Durant. And then, I think the biggest underlying issue here is their rebuilding phase it looks awful now. Like, 2020, The Lakers gentlemen swept them in the bubble and sent them into a rebuild. They're about to get probably gentlemen swept again by the Lakers with 4 more first-round picks. And like 4 of those first-round picks, 3 of them are top 5. And Kevin Durant.
Yep.
But I'm like Kevin Durant is like a hired gun. Like he's to come in and finish the job. But they can't even get to the job because you drafted Amen Thompson with a top 5 pick. You drafted Reed Shepard with a top 5 pick. You drafted Jabari Smith with a top 5 pick. You traded Jalen Green, but he was a top 5 pick. And then Tari Eason was a first-round pick. And Sengun is somebody who you looked at as a franchise player. Where are these guys? Like, what are they doing? They're all looking like Amen Thompson looks like a high-end role player, but the rest of these guys are looking like role players. Like, why as a Rockets organization are we relying on the 37-year-old when we've got 3 top 5 picks? That's the issue. Like, so they're probably gonna lose. LeBron has never lost a series up 2-0. They're probably gonna lose. And we're gonna say it's because of Steven Adams, Fred VanVleet, and Kevin Durant being out. And not those young guys that are in their prime that you're going to have to be paying in a couple of years and going to have to be making decisions on. So when we look back in these last 4 or 5 years, to what? Like, what was this all for? What was all the losing for? What did it gain you?
You know, I think that's like a big thing there, right? Like you made like a really good point there. And that was something I thought about at the beginning of the season, right? That when they made the trade for Kevin Durant, I know in my brain, I was thinking, yo, Kevin Durant in 2025 and 2026 is not the Kevin Durant of 2014, et cetera, right? Like just having Kevin Durant doesn't mean nearly as much as it used to because we saw what it was in Brooklyn. Kevin Durant has, when he's healthy, he's going to put up 26, 27 efficiently, right? But that doesn't, it doesn't go nearly as far as it used to. I was asking Tobias earlier, like, when was the last time he went to McDonald's, right? And he was like, I don't eat McDonald's, right? I was like, man, I got 6-year-old nieces and nephews. I be going to McDonald's, right? I remember we was kids, you can get a McDouble, an apple pie, and a large drink for $3.24. Now $3.24 is just the cost to get you some fries, right? I say that to say, like, Kevin Durant is like that. Like, just having Kevin Durant, that don't take you nearly as far. And in my brain, I was like, this is going to work if Sengun, Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith take a leap, right? If one of them is your best player and KD is just the guy you give the ball to at the end of a ball game and say, go get a bucket or get to the line, get to your spot and get it done. Oh, then yeah, they can possibly make it to the finals and possibly win. But if you're depending on Kevin Durant to be your best player, oh no. In at this point, you in bad shape. And for the Rockets, the worst part is they should not be down 0-2 in a series where the Lakers do not have their 2 best players, right? It is LeBron. Like, Marcus Smart should not go for 25 and 26. Luke Kennard cannot be killing you like this. Like, it can't be this, right? Now, again, this is LeBron in his, like, early 40s, right? LeBron in his early 40s. This isn't the same LeBron of 7, 8, 9 years ago where LeBron would have taken these dudes to the finals. That would have been a strong possibility, right? Now we're like, I don't know. So in my head, like, this Rockets team, I almost want to say you got to make some changes. Like, at minimum, Ime got to go, and some of these other pieces you have to look long and hard at because extension time is coming up, right? And given as many first-round picks, you know, those early picks, you can't pay everybody, right? And Amen Thompson, like, I look at him in some ways like, I don't know. Do you guys remember the guy? He played quarterback at Texas. His name was Tyrone Swoops. You remember him?
Yep.
Right? Super 5-star recruit. I remember looking at him, watching him throw sometimes. I'm like, man, he looked like a tight end, right? That's when he was a freshman. And then 4 years later, I was still saying, damn, I wonder if he could play tight end, right? Like, he never really progressed as a passer. And so for me, Amen Thompson, I'm like, I don't want to look up in a year or two and I'm still saying, dog, if he had a jump shot, man, cancel Christmas. Because I remember that's what I was saying last year. I was like, man, if he gets in the lab and he gets just a decent jump shot, like he ain't got to be Klay Thompson or Ray Allen, but if you just got to go out there and put a hand up and not leave him wide open, okay. But the Rockets got a team full of dudes you can just leave open and they not go make shots, right?
Yep.
Like, I don't know where they go from here. You know what I'm saying, man?
I think it's just some of the guys, like you said, they're definitely gonna have to make some changes. Is it coach? Is it, is it some of your roster? I think definitely the roster has to change. One issue, they have a lot of the same guy. They have a bunch of tweener 3 and 4s, most of which can't make shots. That they have a lot of the same position, like Jabari. Tate, he's short, but he's a 4-man. That's basically what he is. He's a short 4-man. You got Dorian Finney-Smith, who can't make a shot anymore. You have
He's
a
cooked.
Kogi, who they play a lot. They have a lot of the same. Even KD, as great as he's still a 3/4. That's another guy in that spot. You probably need to move off of Jabari. Players in his class have already been extended. Paolo, he's been maxed out, et cetera, et cetera. Probably want to move off him, at least take a look. Reed Shepard, probably. I would take a look and see what you can get for him. Biggest thing about making a mistake is you can make a mistake, you just can't compound it. So I think going forward at this point and trying to keep them and let's run it back is compounding the mistake. It isn't working. You have to move
Well,
off of some of those.
what I will say, because I think it was a great idea in theory, right? The league is trying to go positionless. They had established a culture, right? So we talked about it last year. They lose in game 7 against the Warriors, right? So now this rebuild that looked like it was promising and you're just trying to make a playoff berth, you were the 2nd seed last year. And you had built a culture, you were tough, you rebounded better than everybody, you could switch things, you had a bunch of wings. Now we just needed a score, right? So you go in, you bring in Kevin Durant, which I thought was the right idea. I stood by that, right? Fred VanVleet goes down. My issue, why don't you get another point guard? Because now, to your point, you got all these dudes that are 3/4s, and you're just trying to say, like, well, we could play positionless basketball, and we could put Amen Thompson as our primary ball handler, and KD can handle it, and Sengun can catch it, and our playmaking will be fine. But now KD's getting trapped in the middle of the floor, and you ain't got nobody to make decisions. Like, Fred VanVleet got hurt in training camp. You had
In
all
September.
year. You could have brought in Chris Paul. You could have brought in Chris Paul to give you 12 minutes a game, and I promise you, Kevin Durant would not be getting trapped in the middle of the floor like that. They will be getting different results. Like, I think the principle is good. Injuries obviously affected them because, first of all, losing your only decision maker hurt. Then you lose Steven Adams, who was like the backbone of that toughness of the team. Like, they were all, most of these guys are wings. They can switch everything. They're physical. Amen Thompson, super athletic. Jabari Smith, long arms, rangy, right? And then you got Steven Adams down there when they're playing Sengun and Adams. How do you get a rebound over those dudes? He goes out. And so now it just kind of takes away from what it was. I'm not saying they got to totally blow it up. They may need a coaching change. But I can't say, because 2 years ago, I thought they were on the right path. They just didn't take back that starting point guard that they needed. Like, they needed another point guard this year, and they never went and got. Man, they would have been better off getting Russ than just staying pat.
I think
Yeah.
too, though, I agree. The league has transitioned to it's a copycat league. Teams just copy each other. That's what they want to do. They like to copy each other. You only can copy when you have the right things. You can't copy when you have broken pieces. We have broken pieces here, broken piece there. This could be this thing, but not the same. You can't copy then. You got to create your own wave per se. And I think them copying screwed it up. Like Jabari, like he's fine, he's okay, but this is what, year 4? Something
Inconsistent.
like
He's
that?
too inconsistent.
Come on, you went top 3, but Paolo got maxed out. We that's and it's not fair. And it's not fair. If you're get drafted that high, I want you to be like that.
Chet gonna get
And
maxed out too.
Yeah, that I want you to be like that's the goal when I draft. You're supposed to be a franchise player. That is what we expected. He's a role player, and that's fine. But it's like, okay, well, this kind of sucks, man. We drafted you so high. We looking around at other people in your same draft class. Man, he's really good. We could have got him. This would be a whole different thing. And it's not fair. And I think that, sometimes cutting ties just it might be better for the Rockets, it might be better for him. He may go to another team and he may thrive in his role. We've seen that before. Players move on, they just get better. And that's okay. And I think you have to be comfortable and accept that. Like the Rockets have to be comfortable in accepting that. And that's okay. Just get something for them and just make up for it. But they're in a position where they're young in some spots, but old in some areas. You have to try to win now before you start paying all these dudes all this money and everyone has to leave. Now was the time to win. It didn't work this year. Got to go back in the offseason, assuming they lose to the Lakers, and fix it.
Too many of their top 5 picks are role players. Let me ask you this, Alex, before we go to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James so far, well, JJ Redick is out coaching Ime Udoka. LeBron James is the smartest person on the he's looking like the smartest person on the basketball floor right now. The second smartest is probably Marcus Smart right now. How much lower do you go to find who has the third highest basketball IQ on the floor right now? Like that's what screams so evident to me. Like it's LeBron, it's Marcus Smart, and then it's a big gap between somebody else who I trust to make decisions on either team.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, I've been thinking about, I was thinking about as we were talking about, the Rockets don't have a point guard. This is the second time we could think of an Ime Udoka-led team that doesn't have a true point guard, right? The team he took to the finals that year in Boston, Marcus Smart was their point guard. If memory serves me right? So it's Bron, Marcus Smart, and then it feels like there's a bunch of other dudes who, I wouldn't trust really to do much of anything. Right. And I think that's the crazy piece. And, LeBron, it is really crazy to watch him transition into another this new station of his career where he's primarily he's a 4-man, right? He's a power forward. It feels like in some ways he's a little, okay, I don't want to say this and I don't mean this to be offensive. I only mean this in the terms of on the floor basketball. Height, weight, size, speed at this point, he's reminded me a little bit of Karl Malone. I don't want to be disrespectful or speak ill of anybody, or compare LeBron to 12 play, but I'm just saying, that's right? Crazy. But that's kind of what it looks like on the floor, right? And the idea that, okay, he might not be able to give you old LeBron, where he's going to be able, because 7-8 years ago, we would have seen LeBron to seem like, oh, they're fine. Right? LeBron can carry, it could be LeBron, the three of us, and some random guy, we can go to the finals. Right? But now watching him really transition, but there are still times when he recognizes, okay, everybody else is gone. I got to be the one to get it done. And he's going to be the one to get it done. Right? The Rockets, Kevin Durant is their guy to get it done. But the problem is, the Rockets can't, he getting trapped in midcourt and the Rockets can't figure it out. The Rockets can't seem like they can't do basic basketball things, right? Very basic. Ken, you coach what, 9th graders?
KD wasn't lying in those burners. He wasn't lying in them burners. I literally last night, if you watched the game, you saw it too. The Houston Rockets literally tripped over themselves and fell on the ground. Yes. He called Jabari Smith the R word. He said he pulled the Chris Broussard. But he said our franchise player Sengun can't shoot or defend. What? He's not wrong. He's not wrong in this because there's no reason why they look as bad as they do. And they're down 0-2, and in both games, they've shot way more shots than the Lakers. They get so many more offensive rebounds. Their physicality on the basketball, because they're more athletic. Amen Thompson forced a backcourt violation and a 8-second count. And they the games, they're close, but they not even really the Lakers have the momentum pretty much the entirety of both of those games. That's crazy to me.
Yo, somebody made a joke and they said, you know what Ime Udoka's adjustments are? Hey, man, y'all stop being a bunch of
And then
right?
telling that to the refs.
Bro,
Like,
yes, on you heard what he said in game 1? Yo, I was watching the game with my wife and she was like, did he just call him a I was like, yes, he
bro,
did.
they panned the camera twice and he said it both times. I'm like, does he not get a text? Like, do you not hear this? Dog,
No, yeah.
it's crazy, bro.
No, they just gotta make some move. Like this isn't sustainable. I mean, I think they kind of know what they have to fix. It's easier than said than done to fix it. There'll be some guy, via trade, via free agency, they might be able to do. But now is the time. You know what I mean? Now is the time, and I think they have to try to go just fix it. Because I mean, now it just looks bad. They've had injuries. I get it, Fred VanVleet, but like, man, it's just you got to have a point guard to win games. Yeah, y'all didn't try to get nothing.
It's
Like,
a wasted year now.
Yeah, because it's like people get hurt. Like that's unfortunate. We
Correct.
just didn't. And then Fred VanVleet got hurt very early. Like literally. Like he got hurt as early as a player can get hurt. Couldn't get nothing.
This ain't Luka. This ain't Luka going down 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. You can't get nothing. Like, man.
Hey, yo, and I think, Ken, is one of the things we constantly are always talking about. It's all good, like being the fun team, being the fun young team that lasts.
So you get expectations.
Shoot, that lasts for a year. You can be fun, no expectation, and let it all hang out for 1 year. Last year was their 1 year where they just, yo, man, we young, we ahead of schedule, we the 2 seed. Whatever happens is going, like, we'd love to go make a deep run, but if we don't, we still young, we got time, whatever, that's over. Right? The moment you go get Kevin Durant, that whole we're young, that's a wrap. Going to get Kevin Durant, you don't go get Kevin Durant to rebuild. You go get Kevin Durant to win right now. Right? And go ahead, Tobias. You have something?
I think, too, the culture of this sounds really bad. There's still a culture of losers. The culture still isn't great. Like, yeah, they didn't win a lot recently. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get last year they were better, right? And then this year, you had a great season, but the culture is still bad. Like you're still like these dudes don't have many play. You take out Adam, take out KD. Those guys will play them play out game, but the rest of those dudes, not really. They don't. They've lost a lot. They lost a lot of like Jabari Smith. He's lost a lot of games in his young NBA career. A lot of them. He's not used to winning, you know what I mean? Like it's just the culture of it is just different. When you go from, rags to riches kind of pretty much in like one season. Well, like I've never been here before. I don't know what to do, sacrifice this, do this. They've never done that before. So I think, and it's not an excuse. I just think that the culture of they've lost a lot. This franchise, at least recently they've lost a lot. So I think that like you're seeing some of that too, like the adjustments on the fly. Like you'll see players, they'll accept roles and do this and move that. I think you see a very disconnected team. I don't think they're very connected as a group. And I think some of that is just like chemistry. I think it's just the culture. Like y'all heard the rumors recent, a couple years ago, like what was going on. That's still part of that. Y'all just got KD now, so it's now just like, oh, we're supposed to be winners. No, not really. Like we've won more, yes, but y'all still losers. Y'all just sprayed some perfume on it and kind of wiped this off a little bit. Y'all still haven't won that much recently. So I think that's some of it. That's some of the issue as well.
And speaking of teams that are young that, have lost a lot recently, but have turned the corner, the San Antonio Spurs. Right? Defensive Player of the Year, Victor Wembanyama. Sixth Man of the Year, Keldon Johnson. Possible Coach of the Year, Mitch Johnson. Right? But they're tied 1-1 in the 2-7 matchup against Portland. Lost last night, blew a 14-point lead. Victor goes down with a concussion. I hate this type of question. Like, is insert team here in trouble? But given all the circumstances around, Kennedy Miller, Do you think the Spurs are going to be able to figure this one out? Or do you think they might be going home early?
It's gonna be dependent on how long Wemby will be out. You know, they said he could be out up until game 5, game 6, because of 48-hour waiting period. He has to be cleared, all of that stuff. Tobias just so eloquently put that about the Houston Rockets. The same thing can be said about the San Antonio Spurs. Those dudes have lost a lot of games. Like, there's not a lot of guys on there that have playoff experience. That's why when we did this show 2 months ago, and the question was, are the Spurs contenders or pretenders? I said I'm going to lean more towards pretenders because no team that young has made it to the finals and won the finals with most of their guys having little to no playoff experience. De'Aaron Fox has 7 games under his belt. I think Harrison Barnes has 56. Everybody else, this is their first moments. I think Keldon Johnson had 1 playoff series.
He played in a couple of playing games, and past that, I mean,
Yeah.
Cornette and Kelly Olynyk, but they not going to be on the floor closing
Absolutely not.
game.
Absolutely not. And so you look at it last night and you're like, Wemby goes down. They're down by 3 when Wemby goes down, right? I look up, they're up by 14. I'm like, uh-oh, they're rallying around their injured star. But then, like, you start to see, like, Jrue Holiday, Scoot Henderson, Robert Williams, they're making plays. Like, Portland is a team full of gritty dudes. They just don't have a guy. They don't have a guy. But I thought that they matched up well with San Antonio with Wemby. Not saying that they were going to beat them. I just thought it was going to be a good series. I thought San Antonio was going to win in maybe 5, but it'd be like a competitive 5 games, right? With Wemby going down and now you're going to Portland, this game 3 is going to be a big game because you're like, Wemby's out. Now we're looking at you, De'Aaron Fox. Y'all are by 14 at home. You won Clutch Player of the Year last year. Take us home. Right? Like this is now your group. And I think he's like Miss Johnson, they're gonna draw more things to get Fox going. But I mean, it's tough to score on that Portland defense. They got a lot of guys to throw at guards. Right? Jrue Holiday, Scoot Henderson, Tamani, that guy who can go. Kamar, yeah, he can guard, right? They bring in Thibault. He can guard. Right. And now Scoot Anderson, he had 30 points yesterday, 31 points. Like, I was like, wait a minute. Like, now he's looking like a top 5 pick that he was. Right. So I'm not gonna say we should be totally worried because I don't know when Wemby's gonna come back, but it is a concern knowing how little playoff experience San Antonio has. And a guy like Jrue Holiday on the other side, I know he's a great leader. I know he's got those guys believing, especially when they stole one on the road going back to Portland.
I think you made a great point. And I think, Tobias, you made an amazing point about, like, the Rockets have done a lot of losing and the Spurs have done a lot of losing over the past, 3.5 years or so. I think one of the things that stuck out to me about this San Antonio team, what I think differentiates them from the Rockets, is how connected the Spurs are.
Yeah. They look like they like each other.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
really like each other. And what I'm going to say next is, like, I'm not making this analogy as a pejorative, but I mean, like, they're connected in a way like you see a high school team connected, right? You see the high school team, everybody decides we're going to wear a headband. Or, man, what did we do about our senior year? We went 10-2. Everybody dyed their hair. Like, we all decided, like, yo, we gonna do this one thing, right? Like, that's how, like, connected the Spurs are, with the black suits before the game.
Black suits,
or
yeah.
everybody's doing the headband. And Victor ain't even playing in the game against Denver, but Victor got the headband on. He ain't, he in street clothes, right? That's how tight of a group that they seem to be. You can tell them dudes really like each other, right? So I think in a time like this where you don't have that playoff experience, the bond and the connection between the group, that's what you have to really lean on. And you do have to lean on, in my head, De'Aaron Fox. Like, kind of like you said, Ken, De'Aaron Fox has been a lead singer elsewhere. And I've made the joke, if De'Aaron Fox is your lead singer, you're going to have a couple of hit records, right? You ain't going to sell out stadiums or nothing, but you're going to have some hits, right? But if De'Aaron Fox is your second lead, well, you might be cooking with gas. But right now is the time for De'Aaron Fox to be like, all right, dog, our other lead, he's not here. You got to go beat a man, right? And I think for San Antonio, it gives me some, optimism is that no Victor, you were up 14 in the fourth quarter, right? That's a game you have to win. Is Scoot Henderson gonna shoot like that again? Now, can you depend on Portland to play good defense? I think you can. You can
Yes.
rest assured that'll be there.
Depend on that,
right? But Scoot Henderson, is that like money you gonna count on if you're Portland, right? But I think given that the Spurs started off slow and blew a lead, right? That was a game they could have and should have won last night. And I think that if you are San Antonio, but we're going to find out how mature, like competitively mature they are, because they got to treat game 3 as must win back against the wall. And I think that's got to start with like a guy like Fox. Like Fox got to be the one like, hey, look here. This is a game we have to win. Right. So, and I think between that, but they've got I think the deeper team. I think San Antonio has the better team. Top to of rotation guys. Like San Antonio has better players. Like you start going through, is their second best player? Is their second best player better than Portland's second best player? Yes. What about the third best player? Yes. What about the fourth best player? Yes. Like you keep going down the list, right? San Antonio has a better team, but I think on the inexperienced thing, San Antonio is almost as inexperienced as Portland is, minus like Drew Holiday and Thibault. You know what I'm saying, Tobias?
Jeremy Grant, he played as a playoff. Grant, he played as a playoff again for the Thunder. But I mean, I think too, like for Portland, they're really playing with house money at this point. Like anything they do going forward is like a big deal. You know what I mean? So like they're gonna be super excited. First home playoff game in a couple years. They're gonna be like it's gonna be rolling. I think it'll be key for the Spurs. Like it wouldn't surprise me if the Thunder start out the game 10-2. That wouldn't surprise me. They're gonna be ready. They're gonna be really. It's gonna be a lot of energy in that arena. They'll be ready to go. But how they respond and handle that from time to time, that'll be the determining factor. I think if Portland will take a lead, I think the Spurs will come back, and I think they'll be ready to play. They'll be able to keep the crowd pretty much out of it. Portland playing with house money, that makes them dangerous in the scenario because we have nothing to lose. We were supposed to come home be down 0-2. That was what people thought. So it's tied. Yeah, nothing at this point. Screw it. Like we might as well just. It doesn't matter at this point. So I think that they'll be ready to play. But I think Spurs they're the better team, and I think that your guy like Fox is going to be big time. I think Castle will be phenomenal. I think they'll be able to pull out whether Wemby does or does not play.
And I will say this about Portland. There are people that are more talented, but Drew Holiday is a winner.
Yes, he is.
Like he's a Hall of Fame role player. He's a Hall of Fame role player. And like in situations where San Antonio is losing momentum and Portland is if you leave it to chance, he's probably going to make a play or two to win the game. Might not always hit the shot, but he's going to make a play or two. And there's a reason why when he became available and ended up getting traded to Milwaukee, there's a reason why every team wanted him. Because they knew that if they could get this guy, especially fringe contenders, he could be the move that takes him over the top. Now, he's not going to do that for Portland, obviously, because they're not a championship level team. But he went to Milwaukee, helped them win a championship, gets traded, goes to Boston, helps them win a championship, right? Like you said, Jeremy Grant got some playoff experience. Robert Williams has been to a finals, right? Their coach has been to multiple finals with the Spurs. It's a culture being built there. They've lost some games, but it's a culture being built there as well. They just don't have, can I throw you the ball and you go finish it for us?
You don't think they can do that with Avia?
Not yet. He's good though. He's good though.
What makes them sneaky, they have a bunch of guys they could just randomly give you 20. But Grant's capable, Sharp is capable, Henderson obviously just did it, Avija, Holiday. You could just kind of roll around. Like, why does he have 25 points? Like, why did that happen? But they're capable. Like, we've seen Grant in the past when I think with the Pistons, like he's been capable of like they didn't win
Man,
the game, but he was cooking. Like he really can play. Holiday if he just taking over, he's like their best player. Sharp is he can definitely do that type of stuff. So that what makes them kind of sneaky, but I think the Spurs will pull it out.
And I will say this with Portland, like this has been one of the wilder seasons in NBA history. Because if we remember at the beginning of the year, they had the head coach, their actual head coach is on leave because he was up here fixing poker games with some dude named Spook. You remember that, Kennedy? You remember Chauncey Billups hanging out with Spook?
yes.
And so now, like, again, I think that has gone undercovered. I'm still looking for a picture of this Spook character. If any of your listeners has a picture of Spook, and I do want to say I'm pretty sure he looks like what I think he does, and ain't no El DeBarge in this brother at all, right? But at this point, given what they've had, if they don't win another game, it's house money, right? They weren't supposed to be here. Tiago Splitter was not supposed to coach them for 70 odd games this year. The fact that they made the play and ultimately made the playoffs and won a game, shoot. At this point, everything else at this point, like this whole season for them has been found money. Absolutely, like money you find in a couch cushion. So I think for me, Mitch Johnson's going to have to earn his money. And I think this is a situation where like an older, more experienced coach possibly would have been better to have for San Antonio. Because I initially, like going into the year, I wasn't a fan of the Spurs not running a search and making an internal hire. Now, it appears to have been the right move, right? But initially I was like, Mike Malone is out there. Mike Brown is possibly going to be available, right? Go with a more experienced coach to take this team from a young team that's like developing almost in a similar way to what Ime did with the Rockets a few years ago. Take it from a young developing team to a team that's going to be winning, right? And so in a situation like this, it would be like helpful to have an older coach who's been through an experience like this before, right? To kind of know how to navigate this, right? But at least for me, like everybody can't be going through this for the first time at the same time together. And Mitch is going to be going through this for the first time. And so is like the majority of his roster. And for me, that does give me a little bit of, I think the word is uneasiness about that. Because who's going to be the calm, steady force? Who's going to be the person that's going to be like, we're good. We're going to be fine. Like, where do you find that?
Fox, but also like in the team bonding that they had together, right? Like you got to think, Wemby only averaged like 29 minutes a game. Like they spent a lot of time without Wemby on the floor, and this is a group that Spurs won 60 games this year, right?
62. I think 62.
Like that's what they're gonna hang their hat on, like being together. They've been without Wemby before. They've won big games without Wemby before, right? And all they got to do is hold it down for their brother for 2 games. Like if you can go back to San Antonio 2-2,
Yeah, it's good.
they got to feel confident they're gonna be all right.
Yeah. I think, like you said, they played so many games without him. Even just like, I mean, some of the players are different, but this last year he missed a significant. They've done this before, maybe not in the playoff
Yeah.
setting, but they've done this before. So they'll be okay. And I think this is what you said, where chemistry and just trust and connectivity really really matters in a time like this, where we've done it before. We're okay. And I think that's
Mhm.
another thing about the culture. This is where culture matters. When stuff like this happens, unforeseen thing, we can always rely on this culture. We've been in this before. We've been through hard times before. Let's just stick together and not fold. This is where like organizations like this, while they're always good, even when the Spurs were bad, you never heard anything weird. They were just bad, but they never heard anything just structurally about the team. Oh, this player, no, they just couldn't play. But now that's why they're such a good organization for stuff like this.
So last thing before we get up out of here, like most times I think Ken, me and you talk about it, man. This is our like favorite time of like the sporting calendar because it's like 60, 70 odd days straight of like high level basketball. Every night there's going to be a game on. It's going to be good. You know, once we get out of the first round and get some of these sweeps and gentlemen sweeps out the way, that second round, that third round come around, man, it's amazing basketball. But I don't know about y'all, man. Does this year feel different? But I don't know. It just something feels like something just feels off.
I'm actually excited. Like I'm excited. I feel like there's some narratives that are going on in the playoffs this year. I mean, mainly like the OKC dominance. Like they've got a chance to really make some history. Like Shea's got a chance to really cement himself as a top 20, top 15 guard. Like if he wins another title, wins a Finals MVP, you know, maybe has a iconic moment in these playoffs. It'll be a back-to-back MVP, back-to-back Finals MVP, first team to repeat in 6 years. So like it put himself in some elite company, right? It puts himself in the elite company. And how good is this OKC team stacking up? Because they're still, most of those guys are 24, 25. They're young, right? Then you're like, okay, well, Detroit lost their first game. How good is Detroit? They're the number one seed in the East. Are they going to be bounced early? You know, or are they gonna have a chance to make the finals? If Detroit makes the finals, we haven't seen Detroit in the finals since the bad boy Pistons. You know what I mean? Or does Boston make the finals?
Chauncey, they won, and that was with
Wait, Chauncey,
I'm sorry, not the bad boy. I meant the 04 Pistons.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The 04 Pistons.
I was about to say, Ken, we were alive.
Yeah, I was saying the bad boy Pistons while I'm thinking about Big Ben's
Ben
fro.
Wallace.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm literally looking at his fro in my head while I said that. And then you got the Celtics, who many of us have written off at the beginning of the year as like, this is going to be a rebuild year. Drew Holiday's gone, Porzingis gone, Al Horford's gone, Jason Tatum's out for the year. Jason Tatum comes back. They're really my sleeper team to make the finals in the East. And then, like, you got a team like Denver, like you got the Denver and the Minnesotas and Cleveland with James Harden. What does that turn out to be? Because Donovan Mitchell's a playoff riser and James Harden is a playoff faller. So like, what is going to happen with them? Because I think they can beat Detroit in the second round and play Boston in the conference finals, which I think will be a pretty good series, right? Then you got Denver and Minnesota. Whoever I think wins that series is going to play OKC in the conference finals. How does that look? Denver and OKC matching up again. So I think it's a lot of different things like that can make this a very compelling NBA playoffs. I can see right now why it's a little bit difficult, especially with it being on like Peacock and Prime and all these different things. But I think once it gets down to it, second round, like you said, second round, third round, where the real contenders are playing each other, I think it's going to be really good.
I think that's my thing right now that I'm struggling with is because, you know, typically we think, all right, NBA playoffs, all right, cool. You know, we know Tuesday night and Thursday night is TNT. Right. And I went to my TV. Just like, it's still instinctively, I'm like, wait, where's the game? And then I got to went on Prime Video, said, no, the game on Peacock. I'm like, bruh. Right. Like, make this a bit easier on us. But I will say this, each playoffs is still going to have, we used to call it the NBA TV series, right? I guess you can call that the NBA Sports Network series or whatever, because that's what Cleveland and the Raptors are. Right? Like, ain't nobody, ain't nobody put this on national TV. And I will say this, Ken, to your point about what will Cleveland be, they will be what every James Harden like team at this point is. Like, obviously James ain't the best player on that team, but like when James Harden, he's fine games 1, 2, 3, and 4. Games 5, 6, and 7, he will let you down. Like, it's coming. It is coming. Like the fall off it's there. Like, it's just too many times that we've seen James Harden come apart at the seams. Like, and at this point, it's damn near 15 years worth of evidence. worth of data points that he's going to fall apart, right? So for you, Tobias, is there anything like, what's the most compelling thing about the playoffs? Or are you feeling like not as like enthused?
Every year, I get optimistic. I want to see them. I want to see good quality basketball games. Like we were talking about it before we got on here. It's just, when was the last good final? For me, I said it was when LeBron played the Warriors. Maybe you guys may think something after that, but I just want to see good quality basketball games. Not too many blowouts. Like I used to be like excited. Every day I would get out of, in 2017, 2016, like I'm gonna get out of class. I'm gonna go hang out with my boys. We're gonna go watch the game at someone's house or at the bar, whatever we're gonna do. I miss that. Like I miss seeing, I'm ready to see good quality NBA playoff basketball. I'm excited to come home and watch this game. I don't want to be where it's just, yeah, this is cool. I want to watch it. I'm a basketball guy. I want to watch it. So I'm looking forward to, to seeing that. Like what Kennedy said, the Thunder, because are we seeing a newly formed dynasty? That's a real thing. They win again. It's gonna be the real talk. They're young enough. Guys have already been paid. That's a real. They could win. Realistically, a few more. So I'm scared to see that. Detroit. This is a city that they are starving to be good at something. They really really want to be good and go to a championship like the Lions. We thought this was the year. Kind of they fell short. They want to be good so bad. So I want to see that for that city. Can the Pistons do it? So I think the biggest thing too, we're seeing newer teams. But
Mm-hmm.
they're still newer. Like they made the playoffs last year, but they're still a new team. The Magic, the Hawks, the Trailblazers. I like seeing the newer. They're not gonna win it, but like maybe the Pistons will, but they're not gonna win it. The other guys probably, but it's fun seeing even the Spurs. Like they're a new team. They've been bad forever, for a while. So I love seeing the new teams, the new stars. I think that adds more parity to the sport. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But no, we're gonna see some interesting matches, like you guys said, in that next round. So and I think all the teams for the most part are pretty healthy for the most part, which I love to see. The last couple of years we've had some major injuries, so we didn't get to see teams that are fully formed. But I think now, for the most part, guys are healthy. So I think you're gonna get really good quality games. I think every single game.
I
I
just
think like,
think. Oh,
go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Ken. You got it, Ken.
I was just gonna say, as I get older, I'm starting to understand. Like, I'm starting to feel like an OG now. Like when I was a kid, I couldn't understand how like people would say like they like basketball or they coach basketball, and I'd be like, how do you not watch it? But I feel like everybody is a little bit biased to their own era. Like I feel like the 2010s was like the best era of basketball. Like I feel like it was so much parity. Like there was a Heat and there was a D Rose Bulls and there was a Melo Knicks and there was the Lob City Clippers and there was the Kobe Lakers and there was OKC and all these different teams. Like you said, like I was gonna watch them all. And you kind of made a smaller point when we were talking about it earlier. A lot of it nowadays, even though like I've argued this before, it is a little different. It feels more identical as
Yeah,
far as the play style, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because you had the Lob City Clippers, then you had a team like Memphis who only gonna score like 95 points, but they're gonna play grit and grind. Then, Miami's gonna get up and down. Miami and OKC are gonna get up and down, but at that point, Boston is a little bit older, so they're not even trying to offensive rebound. Like they just getting back on defense. Like it was just all these like a contrast of styles, and so like it was this clash. And who's gonna come out on top? You didn't know.
Yeah, like that's one of the things I've been thinking about. Everybody, like I've been complaining about like some of this new rap for a while. I'm like, everybody mumbling, right? Like it was one thing like in the 90s, like Twista, Bone Thugs, a couple of them did the fast rapping thing, right? Everybody wasn't doing that. Like watching the NBA now in some capacities, watching everybody try to shoot, like I think Tobias, you said 40 odd threes a game gets irritating to watch. And there was such, like you said, a contrast of styles because like San Antonio was going to play a super duper fundamental, not sexy basketball. Like it's going to be chest pass, bounce pass, ball movement. And it's going to be like, it's going to look a certain way. What I think what the NBA they should really be leaning into is not like the guys who aren't in the playoffs, or frankly, guys who ain't gonna be in the playoffs like by the end, right? Like this is the end of, I think, our childhood stars. It's the stars of our childhood, and we can say early college years. This is it, right? Like for LeBron, this may it's not off the board that this is it, right? Steph Curry, them boys that didn't play, like they're done. Like that era of LeBron, Steph, that's a wrap. KD, this is the last hurrah, right? Like we're moving clearly into that next era of like who is going to be, the conversation I hated, like the face of the league, right? But this next era is here, right? And so I think like the NBA, you need to lean into that. Like SGA, this could be him like putting his stamp as one of the like putting it on his resume that I'm one of the greatest players of all time, right? And possibly like I don't think I've seen a team as dominant as the Thunder since the Kobe and Shaq Lakers.
It's been a while.
Or
the
those
Warriors.
at least for me, like there were times where the Warriors felt vulnerable, right? The Lakers, like those Kobe and Shaq Lakers, like when they were just rolling through teams, right? Like for me in my head, I'm like Kobe and Shaq never blew a 3-1 lead, right? But like yes, the Warriors, like Kobe and Shaq Lakers, the Warriors, like the Thunder are. I feel like that type of they're on possibly an all-time great run here. Right. And I think we need to the league needs to lean into that instead of like leading every like block one on every like hot take show is LeBron. Right. I'm like, bro, SGA over here hooping.
LeBron has fed a lot of people for a long time. He has made these shows interesting. He's made a lot of people a lot of money just by just simply like existing and being so good in the NBA for a long time. Well, he's about to be done really soon, so we're gonna have to find a new one. I think I think one of it too, the analytics kind of got in the way and kind of hurt the sport. And I think then they allowed it. You know what I mean? Threes are more than two. We want to shoot more threes. Then it killed the styles. There's no more brutes anymore. Teams have star power. Teams were this up and coming fun team. These teams were kind of grind and play physical. The Spurs were super fundamental. The Suns, they played no defense, but they could score 140 if you caught them on the wrong day. So could the Nuggets back then. Now it's just dudes shooting threes. And I think too, the personalities have changed. Some of these dudes, they're very good. Personalities are different. Jokic plays Pokemon before games, respectfully. Yeah, different dude. Just different. He's not a iconic person like Jason Tatum. He's like the nicest guy you've ever met. I think the personalities are just really, really different. And I think they're searching for that new, and then, like Anthony Edwards, he could be that. He doesn't want it. He don't want to be that thing. Like Ant cool with just, couple funny clips here and there, of him talking. He's more than good enough. He doesn't want to be that thing. So I think that's what's making it kind of tough. Is like, well, and face it, a lot of the best players think they're foreign now. This is an American sport. The NBA, they want an American superstar player. There are a lot of very good ones, but none that are polarizing yet. They're very good. They're not polarizing. And I think
that is the word I was going to use.
Yeah, that is the problem. It's not that the Euros, they're very good. SGA, Wemby, Embiid, Jokic, Giannis, etc. Phenomenal players, Hall of Fame, first ballot players.
Nobody carries the media. Nobody carries that media, that mantle. Yeah, nobody is like you talk about like LeBron, like, but nobody else is hanging on to like well, if Jokic don't do this tonight, is it gonna damage his career? You know what I mean?
Still feel high.
Yeah, no. Where's the player that like LeBron helped the game go mobile? Steph, he changed it with threes. Who is this next player? Very good. SGA is phenomenal. What is he sensational enough to change this? Like he got the swag with the clothes, but AI did that already. There won't be another one of those. Where's the next star that can kind of make the game? It can change it from a media perspective. I can't get enough of this guy. I have to follow him around everywhere I go and do it. And I think that's what is missing.
I think there was something like I think y'all each kind of touched on it. Is like there are how many guys in the league that make you feel something, right? That make you like feel something. Cause like LeBron post the decision made people feel something. Either you loved him or you hated him, right? Like there was no sort of like there was no middle ground on that, right? It was strictly binary, right? But I think what's happened in the NBA and really with like the AAU circuit and everything, I think Bill Rhoden talked about it in this book, $40 million Slaves. Like they get you on that conveyor belt real early. And these guys are getting professionalized really early. So now they are more or less these uninteresting, like they're pros at like 15. So like all the media training, all of that stuff. So they give you no interesting clips, no sound bites. The only guy who didn't seems to like not gotten that training seemed to be Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
He's the one guy, right? Well, like, and so like there are how many of these young players make you feel something and make you like, oh, I like that guy, I hate that guy. The one guy I can think of, he's taken a bit of a fall off the last couple years, and that's Ja Wick. He make people feel stuff, right? But at this point, I don't think he
lost it.
Yeah, he lost it, right? He still pisses people off, but he's not good enough to really like in terms of like you mentioned, Tobias, American born like players, because Jokic, Victor, Shea, all these other guys, like who is the next American? And I mean, I ain't gonna front, like white America might love this, but Cooper Flag don't make nobody feel nothing yet.
Yeah, he's
right?
not. He's very good. He's not. It's the personality. Like he's a very reserved. He's calm. He's not. He's very good. He's not polarized. And I think Ja could do it. He got to go to a different team. We love a redemption story. We love that. That's what America was founded upon. We love a redemption story. If he went to the Lakers and became one MVP, that would be the greatest story we've seen in the last 5 years. We would love that. Now that has to happen. Things have to happen. A redemption story would be nice, but I think it's just I think the personalities are different. I think it's just the sport has changed just from that perspective too. And I think social media also plays a role in it. If I want to see what LeBron's doing, I can go to Instagram today and see what he's doing. I can literally follow him all day. So
There's
I think
no mystique. No
yeah,
mystique
there's no mystique. That's why Jordan was so popular because you saw him in person or you saw him play, like this is like the coolest thing. Like this is, and I think, the game has grown from a visual standpoint, which is a good thing. But I think, we need that like excuse my language, we need like a we need that dude that's like he's like up. Like we need that like weird, really good dude that he's just like and it's really could be Ant. But he gotta want and embrace that part of because he's more than good enough. He gotta want it though. I don't know if he wants that part of it. And it's a big thing, and it's a big role to take upon. It is. Some people don't want that. It's like being the best player of a team is hard. It's hard, but let alone being the best in the NBA is difficult.
I think the dude, like I've been thinking about it because like Victor Wembanyama, you ask him, he want to win everything. He like, yeah, I think I'm an MVP. Yeah, I want to win a title. I want everything right here, right now. Like he has that personality type.
Corny
I
though.
think
It don't sell the same.
You think it's corny?
It don't sell. I believe him. I believe him for sure
Yeah.
because he has that hunger. Like he genuinely wants to be good. Don't hit
He
the
don't
same.
feel right though.
It's not the same. It's not, and it's not his fault. And it's not his fault. It's not. It's not the same. It's not.
I think that's one of those things that you mentioned, like the mystique. Like there's no mystique of these guys. I think because of social media, people in like these guys end up being celebrities or stars like insanely early. Like I remember like back when Lonzo was at UCLA finding out like, yeah, he's got two little brothers and the youngest one, LaMelo, probably gonna be the best one. And LaMelo and Zion Williamson had an AAU game that was streamed by like
Yeah.
couple like several 100,000 people. Like it's not the exact like remember we were kids. Like I remember I used to read the sports page at like 6-7 years old. And I remember like Adrian Peterson, like Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame running back Adrian Peterson was like an urban legend because he was out there in like East Texas running for like 250, 300 yards a game. And he was like a mythical thing, right? Because you're not able to see, you just read the stats and are in awe. So when he got to Oklahoma, you're like, that's the guy I've been reading his insane, like Paul. It felt like a tall tale, like one of those type figures. And now these guys get to the league, like we're told from the time those guys are like 15, 16, these guys are going to be the next big thing. And so we're like, all right, like with Zion, we're told you're going to be the next big thing. So, all right, let's see it. And when it doesn't pan out that way, we kind of like, okay, whatever. Right. I don't know if I'm making sense or not.
Too is because like for an American player, we're exposed to them so much. Like Cam Boozer or the Big Boozer, they lost maybe 12 high school games, 10 high school games in his life. He's been really good since we've seen him since his freshman year. He's only we've watched his entire life for 5 years. We're so exposed to him that it's like, well, he can no longer impress me now because I've seen so much of him. Like it's but like a foreign player like Wemby, he was this mythical alien thing, and then like we saw him play against Scoot Henderson, the little what you call it? Oh my god, this is like the craziest thing because Scoot was supposed to go one in that class. We saw Wemby, like, oh god, like this is the craziest thing we've ever seen. Now it's like they get a longer leash, and we're still learning about him. We're still learning things about him. Like the Bance is gonna probably go number one in the draft. We've seen him a lot. You've seen him so much that like it's just that it's harder for them to impress like a mass group of people I've seen his entire life. Lonzo Ball, he was a celebrity, like an eighth grader. So he had a TV show and everything. Dad is a polarized dad. His dad is more polarizing than he was. So it's you get to see them for so long that it's just it's so much. It's like you can no longer impress me. It's like you got to do something so wild at Zion that it's just like when we're talking about you in like a bad way. We're talking about you in a negative way. You have to do something like that to where it's if like it matters more almost.
Ken?
I mean, I totally agree, man. Like the stuff that we see now is the stuff that people heard when people's careers were done. Right? For example, like I remember when people found out like, oh, Lamar Odom, Ron Artest, and Elton Brand played on the same AAU team. Where like Vince Carter and Kobe and Tim Thomas had played on the AAU team one weekend. Now we just see it on Twitch or we see it on Instagram. Like somebody just streams it right then and there. So it's like all these like mythical stories like Wemby training with the monks. Like it would have been a cool story to find out after they won the championship. Like yeah, in the summertime he was with the monks. But like, oh yeah, like we saw that the next day. And then he went to train with KG and all that stuff. Like people watched The Last Dance and found out information about Michael Jordan they didn't know 30 years ago. We're getting all this information exposed to us immediately. So it makes you numb to the players. And like you said, the media training, they're going to say all the politically correct answers. They're not going to give you anything like, I really like what Jaden McDaniel said the other day about the Nuggets. Like, them dudes don't defend. What
Yeah.
dudes? Nikola
All of them.
Jokic, Tim Hardaway, Christian Braun. Like, I'm going to say they first and
Jamal
last
Murray.
name. None of them dudes defend. Like, that's bulletin board material. You know what I mean? Like, they are professionals at an early age. We don't see the Kevin Garnett interview with John Thompson when he's crying because he feels the weight of Minnesota trying to win it. Because that's what he cares about, right? He comes out saying, we got the Uzis and we got the bazookas and we got all this stuff. Like, oh, we're just going to go out and try and execute what the coach has for us. We're going to go out and play hard. I believe in my teammates. Da-da-da-da-da. That's not what we want to hear all the time.
And, and I think too, we talked about it before we got on. I just think the culture of the sport is changed. Like, I think they care is not the same. Is not the same. Like, it just I think the culture just of it is just a different sport. Like dudes miss a lot of games and it's just a lot. And I think that just like the coach, like they don't play like they don't play as hard anymore. There's no I think the culture of the sport has changed from the high school, college, and the NBA ranks. We saw some stuff this year. With the college level where dudes may or may wasn't playing, whatever the reason was, we don't know. But that wasn't a thing. Like you have teams now. Oh, we don't want to play in the NIT. Like what? Like you know what I mean? Like that. That's like the sport is gotten super political. Like it's super political now. Like you have people that like they're avoiding matchups in high school. They don't. I'm hurt. I don't want to play. I had a bad week. I'm gonna just sit out. Ken, I know you see that. You coach them same kid. You see that. I think the culture is changed. It's not the same. The dude they don't play as hard. I mean, I saw this like you had a senior. He lost a playoff game. When I played, if I'm a senior, we lost. I think I missed school the next day. Like I was genuinely like hurt. Like that like I was physically, emotionally unstable. I was hurting. The kid loses. This really happened. He lost. Are y'all trying to go to the mall after the game? What is wrong with you? Like that's crazy. That is crazy to me. And I think it's because like there's no reward for wins anymore. Because what happens? And I think it starts when they're young. The kid can lose by 30. He's still gonna get his picture taken and put on Twitter that he had a phenomenal game. He
Still
was
pay
not.
for a highlight tape.
He could pay for a highlight. He was 3 for 25. Why does he have a picture? Why does he have a highlight tape? I think it's they're like groomed like slowly but surely up into this thing. So so it doesn't matter. Oh, we lost this big game on Monday. Well, we play on Wednesday. Does it matter? We play again on Saturday. Does it matter? Doesn't matter. So I think that like the mentality of the sport is like changed. Like now you see like a guy like an Anthony Edwards or a Jaden McDaniels who we were just talking about. That's bullet board material. No, he's being competitive. He wants to win. He genuinely wants to win. Why were we celebrating Russ a couple years ago when he was playing so hard? You're supposed to play hard. Kendi, you're a teacher. How do you think a parent would feel? Yeah, I just didn't feel like giving my all today, man. I didn't teach you worth a damn, and I just kind of just sat there and just let you play on your iPhone. That's you would get reprimanded for that. Why are we celebrating something you're supposed to do? Yeah, I'm a surgeon, and yeah, man, I just didn't feel like stitching you back up, man. I just didn't want to do it. You know, I didn't care to do it. You can't do that. But in sports, sometimes in basketball, we are praising people stuff you're supposed to do because as if it's like a rare thing that someone wants to play hard. Like we loved Giannis when he was younger. In the All-Star game, this dude's like diving on the floor, just an animal. You're supposed to do that. But we celebrated it because we're not used to seeing that anymore. We're used to seeing the lollygagging, the missed games, the all of that. And I think that's the overall culture of the sport has just changed in the last probably 5 to 7 years. And I think that's what's the game has gotten better, the players are getting better, but I think it also took a hit.
Absolutely. We're gonna leave it there because we are out of time. And that is another episode of the Game Plan Podcast. Kennedy Miller, my guy.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure, man.
Hey, man, always. Ken, where can the folks find you on the artist formerly known as Twitter?
Find me on Twitter at _Kennedy Miller _. Again, that's _Kennedy Miller _.
All right. Tobias, man, let the folks know where they can find all your great writing about college basketball. I saw The Athletic had you doing some NFL coverage as well, right?
Yeah, we got the NFL draft is tomorrow, so we'll be hitting that head first. It should be a fun time. But you can find all my stuff at theathletic.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Tobias _Bass.
All right. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Alex Goodwin TSM. Again, that's on the artist formerly known as Twitter. At Alex Goodwin TSM, that's T as in tacos, S as in sangria, M as in margaritas. Don't forget to follow the Game Plan Podcast on our official Instagram at _ the Game Plan Podcast. Again, on Instagram at _ the Game Plan Podcast. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening, we appreciate you guys for listening. For Tobias Bass and Kennedy Miller, my name is Alex Goodwin. This has been the Game Plan Podcast. We will see you guys next time. Take it easy.